For doing numerical integrals, you're going to need your calculator, so go ahead and get your calculator out. This idea of numerical integrals, it's really what we've been doing. It's just finding the numerical value for an integral. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the calculator to find these. Your calculator will calculate the integral of anything that can be integrated for the most part. We saw with derivatives that the calculator has some limitations. Remember, the calculator said that the derivative of the absolute value function at 0 was 0, and we all know that it's undefined. So there are going to be some limitations, but we're going to try to avoid those with these problems. The ones that I will ask you to do on the calculator, you'll be able to do on the calculator. So if we want to do something like this on the calculator, there's two ways you can do it. And I like both ways. One of them's a little bit quicker. One of them gives you a better visual of what's going on. The first way to do it, this will be the quicker way. I want you to go to the math menu, and then the 9th option on there will be fn int. Select that. Now, depending on your version of the calculator, it may look a little bit different. If your calculator's fancy like Jeremy's, it'll put things in the right places, and it's really easy for you to enter it. If yours is like mine, I have the TI-83 minus, maybe. You'll have to enter it like this. So here's where everything comes from. This first part here, that's the function. So x squared plus x minus 1. Then after you enter the function, you'll have to, oops, I didn't want that on there yet. You'll have to enter the variable of integration. That's going to be the x here. So if we're integrating with respect to x, you'll put the x in here. Then you put the lower limit, then you put the upper limit. You don't necessarily need to close the parentheses. You can, and you hit enter. And what do you get? 1.3 repeating. Might not be a bad idea to know that's the same thing as 4/3. That's just kind of a basic thing. But if you are on a calculator portion of a test, you'll be allowed to enter that or type your answer, write your answer as a decimal, and so 1.333 would be acceptable. Remember, on the calculator part, you round to 3 decimal places. The other way to do it is on the graph. So if you want to do this on the graph, you can graph the function. When you graph the function, you want to be sure that you make the window so that it includes -2 and 2. So if I'm going to ask you to do an integral from like 50 to 100, don't leave your window at -10 to 10. That wouldn't make sense. Once you graph the function, you can hit second calc, which is F4. It's the 4th function button at the top where it says trace. And then on the calc menu, you'll go down to the 7th option, which looks like a little integral symbol. Select that, and then it's going to ask you for the lower limit and the upper limit. So you would hit, and you don't have to scroll to it. You can just type it in. So when it says lower limit, type in -2. Then when it says upper limit, type in 2, and should give you the area. Now I like this because what does it do? It shades it in, so it shows you what it looks like. So in this one, doing it this way, you can see that part of this area is negative and part of the area is positive. So it's easier this way to kind of see what's going on and where this comes from. Does it give you the same answer? Hopefully, yeah. When we graph the function, we just want to say y1 equals x squared minus x plus x minus 1. That's what we want to type in for our y1, and then we want to integrate that on the graph.